It's the Friday News Roundup. We're talking about these high utility bills, what our politicians are up to on the socials, and we remember the heyday of the Franklin Mills Mall because it's closed for now. It's Friday, February 27th. I'm Trinina Marie, and here's what Philly's talking about. Joining me this week at the Fiddler Club is City Cats Philly executive producer Matt Katz. Hey, Matt.
Good morning, Trinae.
Okay, so officially, the city got 14 inches of snow on Sunday, Monday. For me, it wasn't as bad as the January blizzard.
Yeah, it was not.
Because this one, it wasn't as cold.
Right.
That's the first part. And two, the snow was fluffy.
Yeah.
It made a good snowball.
Totally.
I went down over to Hendricks Rec Center in Roxborough to go sledding.
Oh, nice. They have a good hill there?
So great hill.
Oh, wow.
Very
Cool.
steep.
Nice.
A little slippery when I was climbing up.
Yeah.
But I saw about 5 or 6 large size and small snowmen.
Oh,
Snow
yeah,
people.
nice. My son made a little snowman in the backyard, and then my daughter had a great epic snowball fight because it was like perfect snow, fun snow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It had that nice consistency, and it was also easy to shovel.
Yes.
And I think it was easy for the city to plow. And I think that's why the city just looked a lot better the day after the storm this time, even though we got more snow than the last storm.
Right. So I would say by Sunday evening, my street was plowed. Although the street next to me is a much smaller, tight street.
Yeah.
They always are like the last to get plowed. I feel bad for them.
So they didn't get plowed for a while after?
It didn't appear that they got plowed the same
Yeah.
day that the other streets around them got plowed.
Sure.
So
The city in general seemed to handle this better, and the mayor was also more visible, it seemed, during this storm than she was in the last one. I think that's important. I think people want to see updates, even if from the mayor herself, even if they're a little bit frustrated by the way things are going.
both storms she was visible for press conferences, but what made this, or let's call it the February blizzard, she was definitely like more hands-on in neighborhoods.
Yep.
I want to play a clip of a nearly 5-minute recap video where Mayor Sherrell Parker posted on social media this week. In the video, she's shaking hands with snow removal crews, residents, and walking streets with community leaders. She was downtown in neighborhoods like Roxborough, Alny, West Oak Lane, Fox Chase, Strawberry Mansion, and Overbrook Farms.
Don't let anybody bring you down because you're doing terrific.
Thank you so much.
You're the best mayor we had in a long time.
I appreciate you.
You're doing a hell of a job.
Me so I'm grateful. Thank you. But I'm grateful.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you so much.
We're part of the
Thank you.
journey.
I live in a small block, and normally our small blocks are last or kind of forgotten about. But today, all around Alny and all around the 61st Ward, it's been taken care of. So we appreciate that.
The video opens with a guy complimenting her on the efforts of the city and being, very happy to meet the mayor and appreciative of the mayor.
Yes. At the same time, notice what he says. Don't let anybody bring you down, because that's been really an ongoing conversation. I feel like this judgment about Mayor Parker's leadership. Some Philadelphians are very critical, while others shout her praises.
Yeah.
The video is all about the praises. And at the same time, I want to ask you this, Matt. What do you make of this recap video and maybe like other recap videos that we've been seeing like our city leaders make recently? What do you make of those?
Yeah, I think the traditional media environment where elected city officials were able to directly talk to masses of people, where most of the city or a good swath of the city would be watching one of the 3 local news stations. every night, or where most everybody in your block had an Inquirer or Daily News on the stoop. Like that's changed, right? So people are getting their news and information from a variety of different places, and obviously social media is the main place where people are going, and it's the main place where politicians now feel they can reach people. So it makes sense that they're doing these videos.
And it's also a place like there's an exchange of ideas because there's a comment section, right?
Yeah.
When you're watching 6, 3, 10,
Totally.
you're not able to talk back, or
Right.
people can't hear your comments
you
or
can
your
yell
little
at-
jokes.
Right. You can yell
right?
at Jim Gardner, but the mayor's not hearing what you're saying. Right.
Right.
The politician who I'm most fascinated by in terms of how he handles social media is Council President Kenyatta Johnson. I watch all of his videos, and to be honest, I sometimes giggle at them a little bit because it almost always starts with him slow motion walking. And then it's not always clear what he's doing specifically in the video. Like if it's him in city council chambers, it's not clear necessarily what bill he got passed or what proclamation he signed, because the video is just a couple of minutes of him slow motion shaking hands, slow motion hugging colleagues, slow motion banging his gavel, and then the captions might go into specifics about what he's talking about or what he was
Gives you
doing
more
that
details,
day,
yeah.
but not always.
Okay.
And then the other thing that I always find fascinating about these videos is the music is often incongruous to whatever it is he might be doing. So he used Tupac's Until the End of Time for hearing about the school district's plan to close 20 schools, and caption, below gave info about what the issue was about, but I couldn't figure out what Tupac had to do with the closing of the schools.
Got you. Okay.
He used Mama Say Knock You Out, which for a video.
LL Cool J's Mama Say Knock You Out, yeah.
For a video of him signing a resolution honoring a former editor of the Philadelphia Tribune. And that really had nothing to do with each other, but it's more about
Maybe the energy of the song,
for sure.
and
he walks to the beat. He flashes double peace signs at the beginning to many of these videos, and then and it sort of works visually with the music. But if you start thinking about what this is about, which is a local legislator who's passing laws that are supposed to benefit the people of Philadelphia, there's a weird disconnect. What does Mama Say Knock You Out and Until the End of Time have to do with trying to make lives better for the people of Philadelphia, other than it he looks good in it? I mean, he's a wonderful dresser. He's got this maroon sport coat that he's been rocking this winter that is it is nice, and he pulls it off. He sometimes does the bow tie, which a lot of people can't pull off, but he can. So knows the disrespect there. He looks good in these videos, but I'm not sure
the connection sometimes.
And what information people are getting, how it's what the connection between the videos and how he's helping the people of the city. Have you seen the one where he's sitting at his desk looking at his phone in slow-mo, of course?
Yes, I've seen it. And I would say a lot of people do that pose on social media.
Because it looks like they're working?
It looks like they're working or making a deal.
Yeah.
You don't know what the deal is. You
Right.
don't know what they're working on. You don't know if it's just a text message
Totally.
to wifey.
Maybe he's just
you don't
looking
know.
at his mentions on his Instagram reels.
It could be a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Okay. So I do want to talk about a video where I think it works. Council President Kenyatta Johnson posted this week announcing the Homicide Victim Funeral Assistance Program. This is a city first, a new initiative, and they say that this might be the first in the nation. And so the Office of Public Safety and several anti-violence advocates have come up with a city fund to support Philadelphia families and cover the funeral costs for homicide victims. Starting next month in March, families of homicide victims can receive up to $2,000 towards their burial or interment expenses. And the city is going to have an allocation of $600,000 annually for this program. I appreciated the words he used in this video, saying at first, it was all about prevention. And now we're able to connect family to resources. So again, that was information in the caption.
Yeah.
I appreciated this because it's connecting us to resources.
Right.
It is helping us with so many things. And
Right.
in this case, a traumatic experience for
Totally.
families. So it's less shaking of the hands and more, on the grounds connecting Philadelphians to resources and information about things that the city is opening up or funds that are being allocated for things that we need.
For sure. That is really like useful for constituents. That
Right.
makes sense. Like you want to get the word out about such a thing so people can make sure if God forbid that they can access those resources. That makes sense to me. But if he's just hugging his colleagues and banging that gavel, as cool as he looks, like what's the point of that?
Some city council members or city leaders will often use their social platforms to post about job opportunities in their offices or around the city, information about homebuyer programs. And sometimes city leaders post about even know your rights trainings that are happening in the city. So I guess what I'm saying is we appreciate the recap videos. Let's keep them short.
Yeah. Right.
And let's connect Philadelphians to resources.
Totally. And, in fairness, the council president posted a lot the last few weeks about like when trash pickup day was going to be rescheduled.
Right.
Information people needed to know about the storm emergencies. And that also makes sense. But, I think all of this is fair game for scrutiny, right? I mean, these are city employees who, for the most part, are doing our elected officials' social media. We're paying for the teams of communication staff, and part of their responsibilities is social media. So I think it's okay to look at them and critique it if need be. And I'd also say, while we're talking about this, that we'd also love if the council president mixed it up sometimes by talking to other regular media outlets, and we know he does, but we're talking specifically about us. We've been trying to get Council President Johnson on the show for more than a year now, so we'd love to have him on to talk about what he's working on, what his vision is for Philly, and why he thinks it's important to reach constituents in all the ways, including social media. So
I do appreciate, though, that he's not doing like TikTok dances
that's true.
and like being kind of gimmicky. We've got more news after the break. Remember when rent was the only thing that was too damn high?
Yeah,
Now it's everything.
it is everything.
Why are the utility bills so high? Listen, I work from home. We work from home.
Yeah.
I try my best not to turn on a single light.
Well,
Okay?
you're just in darkness.
Not darkness, but I try to like open the blinds as much as I can. Let the natural light in.
No, the first thing I do after the kids go to school is I walk around the house and turn off all the lights that they've left on in their rooms and their bedrooms. My son's alarm clock is going, all the things. Yeah, so I also try to be very aware of this, and yet my bill keeps going up and up. I get those letters from PECO that shame me. They're like, your neighbors are using a lot less. Do you get these letters?
No, but I had a guy knock on the door yesterday saying, hey, show me like one of your bills because there's like some type of rebate going on.
Oh, yeah, there's that.
And I was like, I'm okay.
The letters I get are your neighbors are using a lot less electricity than you are. This is the average use by your neighbors, and this is your use.
Ooh.
And then it always makes me feel bad. I'm like,
electricity use shaming?
Yeah. I'm like, I'm doing the best I can, Pico. I mean, God, I'm working, I'm using the internet, and I'm
know.
cold. I mean, what am I going to do?
Right.
You know who's not hurting financially from all of this? PECO. The people who have been billing us at higher and higher rates for electricity. WHYY reported this week that PECO's net income increased 47% last year from the prior year to $814 million.
All right, help me out. What does that mean?
It means that they're making a lot more money, and they made a lot more money in 2025 than they did in 2024. And this is essentially because the Pennsylvania Public Utility Commission allowed PECO to raise rates back at the end of 2024. And they did so. They said they needed to. Exelon is the parent company for PECO, and its stock is up as a result. So someone is making money off of all this, even if we're losing money.
Just a couple weeks ago, Governor Josh Shapiro was talking about utility companies and their profits in his budget address.
Right.
He said, quote, "We need to have a hard conversation about the amount of profit utilities and their investors can make on the backs of hardworking Pennsylvanians." He continues to say, "We grant these utilities a monopoly, and in exchange, they have a legal responsibility to keep their costs just and reasonable," Shapiro said. They have a legal responsibility to keep their costs just and reasonable. He also says they shouldn't get $1 more than what they need to meet their customers' needs.
Yeah. I mean, critics say these utilities, and it's not just PECO, are basically transferring wealth from consumers to their shareholders. And there's more and more money going in that direction every year. On the flip side, on the other hand,
I feel like we say "on the other hand" so
a lot.
much. It's true.
The world
There's
is nuanced, man.
Yes.
And we try to explain both sides, but we're not doing it just to do it. It's just true.
It is true.
But we do
right.
find we keep.
We keep saying the phrase "on the other hand."
Next week we're going to drink every time.
No. No drinking.
We've been talking about cutting back on the drinking. Anyway, PECO says part of the issue is that the summer of 2025 was a lot hotter than the summer of 2024. So there was more AC use, more electricity costs as a result of that, more strain on the grid, and that's why costs were up. Part of the reason last year for consumers. PECO says that demand is just outpacing supply. The supply for electricity is diminishing. Demand is increasing. That's also driving the costs up. And it says it's spending the money we're sending them to make sure that infrastructure maintenance is up to snuff and that service is safe and reliable. And I will say, to their credit, I did not lose power during these storms, which is pretty great. I remember, as a kid, you'd lose power. That was a thing that happened pretty regularly. It definitely happens far less regularly these days. I can count on one hand the number of times I've had any sort of sustained blackout over the last 20 years. And I got to give credit to PECO for that, right? I mean, clearly our infrastructure is doing pretty well. But the average bill, Trinae, went from $156.01 in December to $160.37 in January. That's just in a month it went up $5. So you figure, that's just an indicative of how these increases are happening month by month. And I just hope they can find a way to give us some relief.
Now, there are programs available to folks that qualify to maybe cut down on some of these costs. But yeah, it's pretty rough, especially given the interview that I had this week with Kate Wong-Poo from Spotlight PA about data centers. You can listen back to that episode. It was our weekly politics episode this week. And we talked about just how if more data centers come to Pennsylvania, and Pennsylvania's got a few things to attract these data centers, that could also impact our utility costs. And, more people will be on the grid.
Right, exactly right.
All right, we'll be back after this break. I want to talk about Franklin Mall, or formerly Philadelphia Mills, or actually what we all still pretty much call Franklin Mills Mall. This mall is temporarily closed after a fire had happened in one of their stores last week. They said they would reopen after the necessary and mandated city inspections were complete. But let's be honest, who is still going to this quote unquote mall? AMC Theater left in 2025. Urban's discount outlet Reclectic left. and is reopening in the Willow Grove Mall this week. And the mall is up for sale as a potential site for industrial redevelopment, according to Philly Voice.
Which means we could lose it entirely.
Yep. So this Franklin Mills Mall is in the Northeast. If you're not familiar, listen, back in the 90s, this was the place where Philly families would go to do back to school shopping, get your dress for the school dance, get some shoes. I think I got a starter jacket from the Franklin Mills Mall. And I definitely remember my dad like taking me to Old Navy for like a shopping spree one school year.
That's memorable.
There was a buffet in the plaza. And just growing up in the Northeast, like I never went to King of Prussia Mall. I never went to Cherry Hill. It was either Franklin Mills Mall, the Gallery in Market East, and shopping along Chestnut and Walnut Streets downtown.
Yeah, I mean, it's really reflective of the change in our shopping habits.
Yep. Online shopping.
Absolutely.
Or I'll take a road trip to KOP.
And we've talked about the struggles that the Gallery in Market East has had, even when they revamped their place and it's still pretty desolate
Fashion
in there.
district, yeah.
Right. It's so funny. I was watching Abbott Elementary, which is based in Philadelphia, of course. It's the only show our family sits down and watches together.
Same.
Since it's about kids in a Philadelphia school. So the twist this current season is that their school is broken down, it has to close for repairs, which is very real because like the school district.
Literally, that's what we're talking about in the city right now.
Yes. The school district is trying to implement a $2.8 billion plan to close old schools and rehabilitate others. So that was very real. So the Abbott Elementary is temporarily closed. And while the school is being fixed up, they find an old mall that's no longer in use to use as a school. So we're watching, and there's this weird thing in this old mall that's part of the series, that's part of the show this season, and it creeps the kids out in the show, and it's an animatronic Ben Franklin head, a massive,
giant,
that talks to everyone and hangs from the ceiling. And my kids and I, we were like, is this like, did Quinna Brunson make this up? Like, where is this?
No, it's a real thing.
I was today years old when I found out about that. Tell us about the head.
Look, like the mouth, like it was like carved out. There's no expression. And then the eyes are just like
so creepy,
bulging, and then they blink. Similar to like go to Chuck E. Cheese, and they used to have like the animatronic.
Yeah, but this
animals.
was much bigger. It looked like
ginormous. And as a kid, everything, the whole world looks bigger than it really is.
Yeah, totally.
So, yeah.
But was that like creepy or was it cool at the time?
It was just like for me at least, right? It was just like a part of Franklin Mills Mall.
Right.
Like there's Ben Franklin.
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen like more Ben Franklin growing up than like Rocky.
Oh, interesting. I mean, the Franklin,
because this is like we're talking like the 90s. Yeah.
I mean, the Franklin Mills Mall was built as something of a homage to Ben Franklin. Like it's shaped like a lightning bolt, which was
I didn't know that.
Which was a way of paying tribute to Ben Franklin. And I found this commercial for the mall from 1991. I didn't want to show it to you before the show. I'm going to show it to you now.
Okay.
It opens with Ben talking to his wife, Deborah, about going to the mall.
You got to see it. It's electric.
Franklin Mills is electric.
Boogie, boogie, boogie.
You got to see it. It's electric. Chris solo is shocking. It's electric.
Eddie Bauer finally space and fun with Chico's Children's Outlet Valley Forces JC Penney.
Too much for snacking. You won't believe it. For style, savings, and selection.
It's electric. Look at that. Look at that early 90s fashion.
Yes.
So good.
20 to 60% every day.
Save 20 to 60% every day. So great. Shows them all. And then at the end, they're doing this electric slide in front of the massive Ben Franklin head. And Ben and Deborah Franklin are...
It says Franklin Mills, a revolutionary idea. That was my childhood. I love a Philly tradition.
Yeah.
I love a Philly tradition. And so the reason why I wanted to talk about it is because it is sad that eventually this, mall is going to continue to phase out. However, whoever buys this property, I don't know if they would pay homage
To Ben Franklin, right.
in a different, updated way.
Yeah, especially since they're trying to turn it into an industrial park of some kind.
Yeah.
Which is sad for people who have, it's been a destination for people from around the city and the suburbs to go to Northeast Philly. It's provided jobs, but it's been in the decline for years, and just, we get Amazon packages instead of going to the mall and
Doing the electric
doing
slide.
the electric slide with Franklin, right? Oh well. So let's talk about the weekend.
Yes,
we're not
I'm
going
excited.
to the mall.
No, we're not going to the mall.
What are you up to?
I am doing another Philly tradition, and that is going to the flower show.
Oh, nice.
The PHS Philadelphia Flower Show. It's the nation's largest and longest running horticultural event and fundraiser. And this year's theme is Rooted, Origins of American Gardening.
Oh, it's like paying tribute to the 250th anniversary of the founding of the country.
Yeah, cool. And really just bringing a lot of personal stories, traditions, and ways that, our families used to garden. What are we doing now? And maybe how will we be gardening in the future?
Cool.
Yeah, I'm excited.
What are they charging to get into the flower show these days?
It was kind of pricey. I ain't gonna lie. Me and one kid, because I was like, I don't know.
One is to stay home.
One kid's got to stay. Me and one kid, $80.
Wow.
And that is the basic package, because they have all these different other activations that you could be a part of, a flower crown you could get. That's an additional $30. So
that's significant, huh?
Yeah, but again, on the other hand,
right,
it is a fundraiser.
Sure.
And so I'm giving back.
Totally. And it's extremely popular.
Yes.
And it brings people into the city. It stimulates the economy, but that is pretty significant. You don't get a bouquet of flowers when you walk in?
No, but I might incorporate flowers into my outfit.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah,
well,
we'll
look,
see.
if anybody's going this weekend, look for a floral Trinae.
What are you doing?
I'm reading this weekend, Trinae.
Okay, what book?
I think we have we have an assignment, don't we?
Yes.
We are doing our part to support the Free Library's annual initiative to get everyone in the city reading the same book. You did a great interview this week with Amir Richardson from the library about their One Book, One Philadelphia initiative. They do programming and events around a single book each year. I love this idea of getting out of SEPTA and seeing someone else with the same library book, maybe interacting with them for a minute, or maybe both you and your friends on the same text chain are listening to the same book on your phone. And they announced the book this week, and we announced it on the show, and we're going to book club this book on our show, chat about it a little bit every Friday. And the book is, Trinae?
Our Missing Hearts by Celeste Ng. Woo! I got my copy.
Nice.
And Celeste Ng wrote Little Fires Everywhere. And while the story isn't set in Philly, Amir told us that Philadelphians are going to be able to relate to it. The librarians were excited about the book, so I'm excited too. So if you're reading, please let us know. Message us on social or at Philly@citycast.fm to tell us what you're thinking about the book.
Mm-hmm. And you can get your book at your local branch. They'll be stocked up with a lot of copies. You can also download the Libby app and listen to the book.
Yes.
This is free, the app, and you can listen for free with a library card. So if you want to do that on your commute instead of reading, that's also great. Looking forward to chatting with our listeners about it and talking to you about it. I started listening on the way into the Fiddler Club this morning, and I see how it's going to resonate with Philadelphians at this particular time in our nation's history. I'll leave it there.
Ooh, I like that ending. All right, before we go, we've got some neighbor shout outs. CityCast Philly neighbors that have joined or want to do a shout out is Brian A. He wants to shout out the Lutheran Settlement House. It is a beacon of compassion in Fishtown, providing food access, shelter, domestic violence support, and senior services for over 120 years. Also, Margaret G. wants to shout out People's Budget Office helps Philadelphians understand and participate in our city budget. Fabulous Budget 101 online and in person.
Cool. I love people shouting out nonprofits and organizations that are doing their part to help Philadelphians. And if you want to become a neighbor, go to membership.citycast.fm. Comes with a load of perks, including being able to shout out a business or an organization that you love and appreciate in Philadelphia.
Yes. Thanks for chatting with me, Matt, for this week's Friday News Roundup.
Have a great time at the flower show. Oh, Trinae, before you go,
Yeah.
I just want to wish my dad a very happy birthday. It's his birthday today.
Happy birthday.
He's 85 years young.
Oh, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Dad.
That's all for today here on CityCast Philly. Our executive producer is Matt Katz. Our senior producer is Abby Fritz. Our newsletter editor is Siani Colon, and our host is me, Trinae Nuri. Music is by Philly's own Interminable, with additional music from All the Kimonos. If you enjoyed this show, really this week of episodes, share with a friend. Also, rate the show, leave us a review, and subscribe to our morning newsletter. We'll be back Monday morning with more news from around the city. Have a great weekend and be safe, y'all. Bye.